and adjective constructions. We know how to say a queen, and we know how to say good. What if we want to say a good queen? If we just want to say a good queen, it's actually pretty simple. We just put the adjective after the noun. Malka tova. Now, as we've already discussed though, there are some rules here. The adjective has to agree with the noun. So one can't say Malka tov, or Malka tovim, or Malka tovot. Each of those is wrong for a certain reason. In a noun adjective phrase, the adjective has to agree with the noun in gender, meaning zachar nekeva, and in number, meaning yachid rabim. So Malka tov is wrong because tov is zachar and Malka is nekeva. Tovim and tovot are both rabim. They're both plural for zachar and nekeva, for masculine and feminine, so that doesn't agree with Malka, which is singular, which is yachid. Now we're going to add a new rule. Hamalka tova is also wrong. Now it looks like it should be okay because tova is nekeva and yechida, it's feminine singular, and so is malka. But it's wrong because it doesn't agree with malka, with hamalka, with queen, in terms of definiteness. So let's add a third rule here. In a noun and adjective phrase, the adjective has to agree with the noun in gender, zachar nekeva, number, yachid rabim, and definiteness. If the noun is definite, which for our purposes now means it has the hey hayidiyah on it, has the definite article, the, then the adjective also has to. So what's the right form for the good queen? Hamalka hatova. Hamalka hatova. And this is true for every noun and adjective phrase. If the noun has a definite article, has the hey hayidiyah, then the adjective has to also. Haben hagadol, hayad hagidola, hasifarim haarukim, hashulchanot hagivohim, hatefila hayafa. Some of these don't sound like they agree in gender, but we've already discussed cases like shulchanot, which are actually zachar, even though they have the feminine plural ending on them. Now, what we said so far is true for noun-adjective phrases. There are other phrases that look something like noun-adjective phrases, but are actually different, and so they have different rules. A smichut phrase that we've already discussed, like sar ha'ir, the officer of the city, looks a little bit similar, but it's actually very different. This is a noun phrase where you put two nouns together to show possession. Sar ha'ir, the officer of the city. And in a case like of smichut, as we've already talked about, only the last noun, the second noun in this phrase, can have the hey hayidiyah on it, sar ha'ir, not hasar ha'ir, but just sar ha'ir. More important for us now is that there's a different kind of noun-adjective construction, which is when you want to tell a whole sentence. If you want to tell a whole sentence, instead of saying the good queen, you want to say the queen is good, well then it's going to look different. It's going to be tova hamalka. So what's the difference between tova hamalka, or hamalka tova, and hamalka hatova? What's the difference there? The difference is that tova hamalka, or hamalka tova, the word order is flexible. The adjective is the predicate. So that means this makes a whole sentence with a subject, hamalka, and a predicate, tova. The queen is good. There's no verb in the sentence in Hebrew. In English, we need a verb to make a complete sentence, but that's not true in Hebrew. Predicative adjectives, and those adjectives that are predicates, usually come before the subject, so tova hamalka is a better order, at least in biblical and Tanakh Hebrew. But in the case that we've been talking about, hamalka hatova, this is not a sentence. If you actually write a period after it, as I did on this slide, that would be wrong. It would be a fragment, and your teacher would say this is an incomplete sentence because all it is a phrase, the good queen. The adjective in this case is an attribute of the subject, the good queen, and attributive adjectives have to come after their subjects. So hamalka hatova, the good queen, and then of course that good queen can go do anything else that the sentence wants to say that she did.